Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's ceremony. As the men and women of the maintenance group recognize and honor the assumption of command for the 138th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron of Major Quinten Tibbetts. The assumption of command ceremony we will witness today reflects valued principles of military service and military tradition that has survived through the ages. It is an outward display of the chain of command for all unit members to see. The passing of the unit flag is the visible appointment of a commander and represents the continuity of command. The presiding officer and host for today's ceremony is Lieutenant Colonel Frank D. Horton, Commander, 138th Maintenance Group. Today we welcome Major Tibbetts as he assumes command of the 138th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. The troop commander for today's ceremony is Lieutenant Drew Tucker. The honorary guidon bearer is Technical Sergeant Paul Gustafson. The men and women standing in formation behind you represent the 138th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. These men and women serve our nation proudly, both home and abroad, with selfless dedication and often under the most demanding conditions, whose dedication to service is the hallmark of this wing's history. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Before we begin, we'll have a moment of silence to remember those who have given the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. Please keep Tech Sergeant Marshall Roberts, Lieutenant Colonel Eric Smokin Joquet, and their families in your thoughts and prayers. In addition, we pray for the Uvalde and St. Francis families who have lost loved ones recently. Thank you. At this time, we would like to offer a very special welcome to our distinguished guests, family, and friends. We are honored to have with us today Major Tibbetts' wife, Kelly, his sons, Caden and Kyler, his daughter, Kenzie, parents, outlaws, Tahlequah friends, and also Major Tibbetts would like to wish a very special welcome to friends and family watching at home online as well. Additionally, in attendance, Colonel Chad Phillips, Wing Commander, 138th Fighter Wing. Colonel Robin Kavanaugh, Vice Commander, 138th Fighter Wing. Chief Master Sergeant Dennis DiPiazzo, Command Chief, 138th Fighter Wing. Colonel Randolph Whiteley, Commander, 138th Medical Group. Colonel Brad Rutman, Commander, 138th Operations Group. Lieutenant Colonel David Phillips, Commander, 138th Mission Support Group. We would also like to extend a very special welcome to our current and former Air National Guard senior leaders, 138th Fighter Wing leadership, Oklahoma State leaders, and other military and civilian guests who are here with us on this special occasion. The purpose of the change of command is to welcome the incoming commander, Major Tibbetts. Change of command ceremony is rooted deeply in military history dating back to the 18th century. At a time, organizational flags were developed with color arrangements and symbols unique to each particular unit. To this flag and its commander, soldiers of the unit would dedicate their loyalty and trust. When a change of command was to take place, the flag was passed to the individual assuming command. This gesture was accomplished in front of the unit so that all could see and witness their new leader assuming their new position. Those who held the flag also held the soldiers' allegiance. This symbolic tradition has survived throughout military history. And now a bit about our honoree. Major Tibbetts entered military service in 2001 and enlisted in munitions systems and served as a drill staff sergeant for 10 years. He then commissioned in 2010 through the Academy of Military Science, Maxwell Air Force Base, Montgomery, Alabama. During his career, Major Tibbetts served as a munitions flight commander, deputy MXS commander, and maintenance operations officer. Major Tibbetts deployed to Qatar in 2005 and 2008 Iraq in 2008 as an enlisted airman. He also served in Japan in 2015, then deployed to Afghanistan in 2018 as the deputy AMU commander. Through his many assignments and countless TUIs, Major Tibbetts supported U.S. military efforts and Operations Enduring Freedom, Operation Noble Eagle, Freedom Sentinel, and Resolute Support. Now it is my pleasure to introduce today's presiding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Frank D. Portland.
Thank you for being here today, Colonel. Very important that you're here to support Quinten in this step. It's a big job. Kelly and kids, all I can tell you is he had a great father. He's a great serviceman who loves his country. There's no better job that you can get in the Air Force than to be a squadron commander. The rewards are, it's just unmeasured, the rewards that you can see by doing this job. What that means for you as a family is his time that you've already missed out on is going to be more demanding. And thank you for supporting him. And we thank you. All right, to the men and women at AMXS Squadron, let me tell you a couple things about Quinten Tibbetts. Number one, he's a man of character. He says what he's going to do, and he will do what he says. And he's always on time. His level of perfection is the top. Whatever measure somebody puts on him, he places his personal measure above that, and he always achieves that mark. That's why he's taking this job. He's taking this job because he's the right person for the job, and he's never failed to meet a mark anytime he's given a task. You can know this. Secondly, he is one of the most smartest people I've ever met. His intellect is very high. He's a problem solver. He can see the problem typically before it comes, and he can put the smoke out before it ever becomes a fire. When you have a problem, you need to understand he is the person that you need in that seat so that you have somebody to go to that can help you resolve your issues. And then lastly, I want to talk to you about his ability to build relationships. The reason you stood here for so long waiting for this to start is because he asked a fighter pilot to start on time. And those guys only know one thing, and that's time on target. So we waited, and Oscar did the job he was asked to do like he always does. But that's unusual that a fighter pilot is going to come and be the MC for an incoming maintenance group commander. That speaks volumes to what Quinten can do in the area of emotional intelligence and building relationships. The way we get through the Air Force and the way that we are capable of doing our mission at a high level of success is based on our relationships. Yes, we have a job, and we have AFSCs, and we have skill levels that we have to meet, but we need our airmen, and we need them close by, and we need them to be able to support us when we need them. Paul Gustafson's going to do the handing off the flag here in a minute. He's not MXS or MXG or AMXS either. Those are relationships. And I'll encourage you, if you get a chance his door is always open to come in and meet him and build that relationship. That's what he needs from you, okay? Quinten, congratulations, I'm proud of you, and I can't even imagine having somebody else come in and take it over, okay? So congratulations, and I look forward to it.
Major Tibbetts, would you please join Lieutenant Colonel Horton front and center for the presentation of the Meritorious Service Medal and the Assumption of Command. So all shall see these presents greetings. This is the certified of the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 16 January 1969, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal to Major Quinten R. Tibbetts for meritorious service 1 October 2018 to 1 April 2022. Major Quinten R. Tibbetts distinguished himself in performance of outstanding service to the United States while assigned to the 138th Maintenance Squadron. During this time, Major Tibbetts' exemplary leadership, impeccable foresight, and ceaseless pursuit of excellence resulted in numerous advances to innovation in maintenance practices that yielded over 3,000 sorties and over 7,000 flying hours that trained and maintained combat readiness for 41 F-16 aircrew. In support of the mission, Major Tibbetts represented the National Guard Bureau as the F-16 Weapon and Tactics Maintenance Officer. In this role, he produced over $300 million from the International Guard equipment account to acquire 15 advanced equipment systems that increase production, capability, and safety, including self-generating oxygen systems, the combat communication kits, wire testers, hex chrome prevention equipment, and metals technology systems. Major Tibbetts' leadership was vital to ensuring the lethality of the Air Force weapon system in the Air National Guard inventory and equipment innovation superiority. Anticipating the strategic environment, Major Tibbetts developed a strategy to combat debilitating shortfalls in the F-16 engine supply prior to 2020 Operation Noble Eagle deployment, while balancing the requirements for combat-ready aircraft availability at the 138th Fighter Wings Houston Detachment and aircraft availability for training missions. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Major Tibbetts reflect great credit upon himself, the Air National Guard, and the United States Air Force. The 138th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron flag is entrusted to Technical Sergeant Paul Gustafson, with the passing of the guidon symbolically expressing the special trust and responsibility afforded to the command's enlisted members. Attention orders. Under provision of AFI 51-604, Special Order Number 22-138, Major Quinten R. Tibbetts assumes command of the 138th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, effective 1 May 2022. Sir, assume command. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce the new commander, 138th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Major Quinten R. Tibbetts.
If you're standing in the back, you gotta relax a little bit. Okay, shake it out. Do not fall out, all right? Hey, if you need to sit on the floor, go ahead, all right? But please do not fall out. Let me soak it in for just a few seconds here. I'm honored, all right? So I'm truly humbled by your presence. First, thank you, Oscar, Tech Sergeant Gustafson, Sergeant Pass, and everyone that has helped in planning and the setup of the ceremony. Thank you to all my family and friends for traveling here today. And thank you for
joining me on this new command journey. I have a lot of people to thank today. Those of being by my side for years, keeping me heading in the right direction. They say it takes a village to raise a child. Sometimes my wife thinks I'm a junior high kid. I've heard that many times. But, I'm surrounded by a good village. Village of family, village of friends, and a village of mentors. This really isn't about me. It's about the people and the relationships that you develop. The people and relationships are the pillars of success, airman's success, even a commander's success. It is so difficult to make it on this journey on your own. I think it's impossible. So, over the last 20 years, I've had a journey as an enlisted airman for about 10 years of that. I've been on TDYs, deployments, trainings, and all while being a part-time guardsman, but a full-time teacher, dad, coach. But I need to say thank you to someone. All right? That person has been there every step of the way. So I got to say thank you to Kelly. My wife, thank you very much. Colonel Phillips, I'm sorry I don't have flowers for you. But thank you for trusting in me. I appreciate your leadership and your mentorship. Over the last few years, you taught me a lot. You're the right man for the job as the MXG commander, and you're the right man as a new wing commander. I was able to witness and learn from you in many ways. I know you're a man of faith and a family man first. But most of all, I enjoy watching how your values and your core beliefs shine on everyone else. It's an example for me and others across the wing. Colonel Horton, thank you for trusting me. You've been there for the last 10 years. So, all the days as a lost lieutenant, I still remember you saying, "Hey, Tibbetts, it's not your job to provide the solutions. Rely on the chiefs, the NCOs. You're a friend, your mentor, and step in every way." So thank you. I was lucky enough to watch you and Colonel Ruttman lead as squadron commanders. And as a captain, I got to sit in the background and watch that. And so I gained some good experience. There's some tough moments there for sure, but I can promise you and everyone in the room that I will not be perfect. I will make mistakes, and I hope to learn from those mistakes. But I know you and the village will keep me heading in the right direction. For every good officer, there's a good chief. I want to thank all the chiefs that have impacted my life. They've been great mentors, but also great friends. Thank you, Chief Embry, for starting me out in the right direction on this journey. Chief Williams, for the daily mentorship over the last 8 years. I know they couldn't be here today, but I've got to mention their names. Chief Smithson, for being a phone call away. Thank you, Chief Dewan, Chief Erler, Chief Lippich, Chief Overstreet, Chief Mott, Chief Kelly, Chief Weaver. Each one of you impact me in a different way. There's a reason why you are called the 1%. So I want to say thank you to those chiefs. If you're an AMXS senior NCO, can you please stand? I got the back. I've got a story to share. So, if you ever watched the TV series The Band of Brothers, I think there's 2 seasons of the show. One is the Easy Company that is fighting World War II in Europe. There's another season, I think it's called Pacific, where the Marines are fighting in the Pacific. But there's a scene in that second season with the Marines where the legendary General Chester Pulley calls his senior NCOs into the room. And there's about 30 or 40 nervously standing NCOs that are getting ready to go into battle. And you get this legendary man like Chester Pulley walk into the room. And he explains the war, what's going on, you know, and how the Marines it's their job to take the fight to the Pacific. But something he said, I want to kind of twist it a little bit and make it relate a little bit to the Air Force. But it's almost spot on. He said, and I really wanted to address my NCOs, the senior NCOs. You non-commissioned officers, you are the sinew and the muscles of the Air Force. The strategy developed by others, or may be developed by others, but the victory will be won by you. The NCOs with the stripes on their shoulders and the instinct in their guts. So I say to you, AMXS NCOs and other NCOs, I need your support on this journey. Don't forget your role and your influence on the young airmen. Let them fail and learn from their mistakes, but pick them back up and teach them and be with them by their side. I ask each NCO to go back to your shops and build a culture of brotherhood. Thank you, guys. You may be seated. Lastly, the MXS Squadron, the maintenance group, and the rest of the wing members here. If you take one thing from me today, I ask you to remember that we're not here to serve ourselves. But remember, we're brothers and sisters in arms. When we serve each other like brothers, we will go above and beyond to support each other. We may sometimes fight like brothers and sisters, but that's okay. Because when we create relationships like we are a brotherhood, we will fight to defend each other like family. Thank you.
Major Tibbetts will now receive his first salute from the Aircraft Maintenance Squadron.
Squadron, 10 cut. Present, halt. Order, halt.
The men and women of the 138th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron welcome Major Tibbetts and his family as he assumes his new duties as the commander of the 138th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's change of command ceremony. Please join us in welcoming Major Tibbetts and his family with a reception. Thank you for attending today, and you are dismissed.